Republicans and Democrats roasting one another at the Washington Press Club's 77th annual Congressional dinner. And Nancy Mace, well, she slayed. Check her out.
There's only one reason that I was chosen to be your Republican speaker tonight. It's because Kevin McCarthy couldn't get the votes. Thank God he's not here tonight, because I will probably be called into the principal's office tomorrow morning. Did you watch McCarthy during the speaker's vote? I know many of you were in the halls of Congress during that vote. I haven't seen someone assume that many positions to appease the crazy Republicans since Stormy Daniels. And it only goes downhill from here, people. I mean, come on. Well, let's be honest. We all knew that Matt Gaetz would never let the vote get to 18. And I know everyone thinks Republicans aren't funny, but if you get a bunch of us together, we could be a real riot.
Back with me, John Miller, also joining us, CNN political commentator and former Democratic representative from New York, Mondaire Jones, also CNN's John Berman. So is Congress just filled with comedians?
I think a lot of people are unintentionally funny, right? I mean, George Santos, in some ways, is one of the funniest people alive, but not because he intends to be. But Nancy Mace has sort of mastered, or is on the verge of master, I think, this shtick where optically she distances herself from the Republican Party, but on the substance she votes with the crazies who she was just criticizing every single time.
John, jokes about January 6th, Matt Gaetz, too soon?
So too soon and a little off kilter. I mean, it was a great line until you remember that people died that day. So not exactly on pitch.
It confuses me, John, because part of it is amusing, and there's definitely amusing. I'll play more that she said. There are definitely amusing things, but it's also confusing because if they can, first of all, I mean, it's that. It's like, do we think that's funny, January 6th? But it's also so you can all laugh together in a big room one night, and the next morning you go back to being toxic?
Well, that's one of the things that I took out of this was that I actually don't think there are that many opportunities where they get in a room and laugh together anymore. This harkens, whether you think it's funny or not, and I'll let everyone else decide. I have to admit I chuckled more than once. This harkens back to a day when there would be political debates during the day and they'd all get together and drink at night. There are a lot of reasons why that doesn't happen anymore, but I think that it's not wrong to long for that moment where these folks could, occasionally see each other as people.
Well, I agree. I certainly agree with that. And when you were in Congress, did that happen?
We definitely socialized, some more than others. I had a lot of great floor conversations. I was closer to the people with whom I served on committees. I was on the Judiciary Committee, ironically, with some of the most far-right members.
And what was that like? I mean, what was it like in the halls when you have to interact with them?
People are a lot more charming and a lot friendlier than they are when they're debating. I mean, look, you give as good as you get if you're good at the job of being a member of Congress, especially in these polarized times. But, after the cameras are off, you're really supposed to be respectful. In fact, when the cameras are on, you should be respectful.
I agree. This is the thing that I find so vexing, which is if you guys really have relationships and if people are charming, let us see that. Let us see that, because all we see is the vitriol, and that's why a night like this, and I think about the White House Correspondents' Dinner too, which also confuses me sometimes, because everybody's yucking it up in there as though everybody are besties, and then the cameras go back on, to your point, Congressman, and everybody's hateful again. But let's listen to the comedy. Let's listen to a little bit more of Nancy Mace, and here's also Senator Chuck Schumer.
Come on, George, you've given Republicans a bad name, and that's Lauren Boebert's job. Just kidding, Lauren, don't shoot. I mean, really, who lies about about playing college volleyball? Who does that? If you're gonna lie, at least make it about something big. Like you actually won the 2020 presidential election.
I'm the first Jewish majority leader. But I am not just Jew-ish. Like some other New Yorkers in Congress, I'm Jewish. I'm the real thing, baby. Baruch Hashem.
You were chuckling, John. It got you.
Can I just say, this was also a moment for Nancy Mace to get back at her political enemies, right? I mean, people like Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, even Kevin McCarthy at times, these people have publicly feuded with her. And so this isn't just
Do you
innocuous.
think she wrote her own stuff?
I think she did. I think, she got help from her staff, probably. Any good staff is worth, their compensation. They should have been helping her.
It's a
with.
pretty funny staff. If she
That's
got staff who's
I
writing that
agree.
jokes, I'm curious who did write them.
Me too, because those are real jokes.
Yes.
Right there. I mean, and she was delivering them well, but when I read them first on paper, I was like, wow, this is funny stuff.
You could see in every wind up to the punchline, she's like, okay, here I go. Now it's coming.
I know, we didn't play the one that I thought was the funniest, where the youngest member of Congress is
She
25.
drops an F-bomb.
She dropped an F-bomb at the press
That's why
club.
we didn't play it.
Oh. All right. Well, I mean, it's so late at night. I feel like we can do that. She said, I'll just tell you guys. She said, so she was talking about the youngest member of Congress, and he's 25, and she said, F you, I have stretch marks older than you. I like that.
Miller time left again.
I know. That's good. See, John, we're listening you up, aren't we? Mm-hmm.
I needed that.
Okay. You're welcome. All right, meanwhile, the sitting president typically grants a pre-game interview to the network